Let's go, Tyler. I appreciate you joining me. You're taking on Vince Tracey at Power Slap number 14. I'm excited for this match, excited to get some clarity and some movement in the bottom half of the division. And I think you put yourself in a position to take on Vince in, a way that is exciting for the division as a whole. How excited are you to be able to get back up there and build upon what you did last time against Sean Kilmartin?
This is exhilarating, Corey. I took what Vince had, and I'm sure he wants it back. And he's a great guy, strong competitor, so I'm sure it's going to be a great match. But I've ticked up there. I had 9. Azil came down, put me at 10, but that took away Vince's spot, so I'm sure he's hungry. And I don't plan on going down a single spot. We're only on a rise, so a good match is guaranteed.
100%. Where are you at right now in your life? Like, do you feel like you've been able to, put all the darkness at bay and just be able to hone in and focus on the slap game?
Yeah, as always, I'm an incredibly busy guy, and if I'm not, then I find ways to make sure I'm busy. So, there's always burdens, there's always a stretch for time, but as far as all of the concerns from before, I've spoke to you guys, everybody, about coming off of season 3 pretty heavy, but I feel like I proved in Saudi Arabia what I can do once I'm properly trained. So, all easy going into this fight. I'm just excited, just ready.
For sure. Sean Kilmartin was 6'4". I've got you listed at 6'2". Vince Tracey, all the way down there at 5'8". I'm not just making a small joke, but we're talking 6 inches difference in this one, a substantial difference compared to Sean Kilmartin, 9 inches different. Are you ready and preparing and training for that difference?
Of course. It would be foolish not to, as I'm sure that he's, now going up training for a taller opponent, because you have Dominic Melendez, shorter guy, Rod Alavi, shorter guy. So it's a switch up for both of us. So far, my slap with Rod, I kind of throw that one up in the air. It was an untrained slap. And I mean, that's on me for the training. There's no complaints there, but I hadn't had a shot that I know how to throw yet. So throwing at that height, I feel like this is going to be my first time throwing this new and improved shot style, throwing the actual mechanics that I know at a height, such as Vince's. So we're training for that heavily.
For sure. Is there anybody's style that you're trying to incorporate in? Anything different in this one?
My style, it's been been building for a while now. So obviously that was adapted and more or less adopted by the Hawaiian style, but as you should do, that it's been tweaked and flared, and now it's what I would call my own signature shot. And, obviously we're working on different things. Is it on 1, on 2? Where's the shot come from? Where are we comfortable? It's the shot is the shot, but things can be tweaked. So we'll just see what happens moving forward.
For sure. What do you think are your keys to victory in this one?
Consistency, right? Because Vince is the tactician. Vince, we all know that a lot of his work starts up here. So I've got to consider all the things that he is considering me to do. This one is as much of a mind game as it is a physical game with Vince. He's a guy that's going to think about this match as much as he's going to prepare for the physical side of it. So I've got to match that energy, so to speak,
Absolutely. I can't remember if you, did they make you tie your beard up against Sean?
Yeah. So it's been so in the air. If you notice, actually, Corey, this is like 4 inches, 4 inches shorter than usual. I'm just trying to, and I took a lot off the sides because, I mean, now we've got a jawline, obviously, and I'm not trying to hide it from anybody. That's not the competitive style. I've been a bearded guy for a long time. So I'm minimizing, trying to fix what I can, but I'm sure that they'll still go ahead and tie up here. But that was the purpose for the flash off the sides, because that kind of, in my opinion, that gives full visual line. You can take all the extra time. Me and Vince talked about it. Make sure you know where the target's at, because we want no excuses. The better man will win the fight.
Yeah, I mean, no excuse. I think it's actually safer, for both athletes as well. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, deeper shots, can lead to more injuries as well. So I think a cleaner fight, safer fight, and as you said, the better man will win on that particular time. Vince Tracey, we've seen him, have success, in Power Slap. We haven't seen him for a while. I guess there was a bit of a gap there between your last match and Sean Kilmartin as well. I think better part of 6 months. Do you think it's hard coming off such a long layoff when you've been off for an entire year? And do you foresee that, being to your advantage in the early rounds?
Oh, so, we'll just have to see when the night comes. That's what I keep saying about Vince. This guy, he was a fan. He was a fan before he was a competitor. So I'm sure that ring rust, it's not really going to be a thing for him, because this is something that, just like myself, is a day in and day out endeavor. He and I, like I said, I would consider us friends, and we speak on the phone. You know, we
Hmm.
have spoke on the phone, especially since figuring out about the match. And it's like we don't. I don't see anybody working the way that we work in this division. I think that everybody above us, you know, like we're the two that's coming. You know, this match is going to be exhilarating because, like you said, shaking up that bottom rankings, and it's not going to be bottom rankings for long.
Hmm.
And it's like I said, this is going to be the type of match that no matter what, by the end of it, somebody is getting carried off that stage, or we're both walking around with our arms raised because we put on a 3-round war. It's going to be good.
100%. Just thinking in recent times, Luke Simons, didn't take Alan Klingbeil as serious because he was fighting back in the ranks. Do you feel like you could fall into that same footsteps if you're not cognitive?
Not at all. Not at all. And the reason being is because, you know, look what happened in Saudi Arabia. I'm an unranked guy, and Sean was as well, but he had already competing. He was, you know, he told you the Northman was going south. He'd wrote me off before he even met me. And
Hmm.
I think that's a big mistake in this game. So, once again, if it was 2 years off for Vince, he will be taken seriously, and he's got to be prepared for it as if he had a fight 2 months ago, you know,
Hmm.
fighting back, fighting up. We've got to come at 100% regardless.
I mean, the next evolution of Tyler Gross, what does that look like? What can we expect come fight night?
A rise in the rankings. You know, I said back in December that it was my goal to go ahead and to get onto the rankings in Power Slap and to break through. And I want to end in the top 5 to the top 3 before the year's out. If they'll let me be active enough, you know, me and Anthony could be having a conversation before the end of the year. I said that actually, you know, pre-Saudi to you, I believe, was that it's not long now. You know, it's not long before this is a serious talk with me at the top of the division. Just now breaking into the bottom, but I'm ready, and I'm ready for all comers.
Absolutely. If Vince is watching this interview, what do you want to say to him?
Vince, buddy, nothing different than on the phone. You're the tactician, but I'm a berserker. You better be ready whenever we get on stage, brother. It's going to be war. All love before, all love after, but bring your best.
Awesome, my man. I appreciate you joining me. Much love, much respect. Travel safe, and we'll see you there in New Orleans come July 18th.
Much love, fellas.